Look at this number. Between $125 and $145 billion. That is how much Mark Zuckerberg committed to spending on AI infrastructure in 2026 alone. To put that in perspective, it is larger than Google's entire annual capital expenditure. To steer this massive machine, Meta spent $14.3 billion acquiring a stake in Scale AI. The actual goal was talent acquisition, bringing in Scale's billionaire founder, Alexandr Wang, to lead the newly formed Meta Superintelligence Labs. Wang's immediate mandate was to build a personal superintelligence entirely from scratch. This sudden shift in power pushed Meta's longtime chief AI scientist, Yann LeCun, to leave the company entirely to start his own venture. Under Wang, the team worked in secret for 9 months on a project codenamed Avocado. The result was Muse Spark. It bypassed upgrading their existing systems entirely. They completely abandoned the famous Llama architecture to build a new model equipped with a multi-agent parallel reasoning mode. Meta built its modern reputation on giving its AI away for free. Muse Spark, however, is strictly closed source. Pre-deployment testing revealed the model hit high risk thresholds for biological and chemical safety hazards. When a model hits these safety limits, the liability of sharing source code becomes too high. By locking Muse Spark behind a proprietary wall, Meta traded its open source reputation for control, a decision that threw the company's internal structure into chaos. Wall Street investors rarely care about theoretical superintelligence. They demand quarterly revenue. So Zuckerberg split the AI division. Wang kept his lab, but engineering power went to Reality Labs veteran Mar Saba, tasked with turning AI to cash. In May 2026, Meta laid off 8,000 workers. At the exact same time, they forcibly reassigned 6,500 elite software engineers into Saba's new Applied AI Engineering Unit. To cut costs, this unit operated under an ultra-flat structure with a grueling 50-to-1 worker-to-manager ratio. Internally, the transfer engineers nicknamed their new division the Gulag. High-status developers were reduced to menial tasks, like manually writing coding puzzles to train models. The working conditions drove 1,600 workers to sign a petition protesting strict keystroke monitoring by management. The friction extended beyond human morale to pure infrastructure. Meta's employees used so many internal AI tools, they risked billions in server costs. The company froze external paid coding tools and instituted strict per-employee usage limits to ration their remaining compute power. By June 2026, organizational strain forced Mark Zuckerberg to circulate a highly candid internal memo, openly admitting the company made massive mistakes during the transition, promising to dial back the intense tracking to stop top talent from fleeing. This strategic pivot triggered a massive workforce disruption. Engineering morale collapsed, while the physical server infrastructure was pushed past its absolute breaking point. This chart shows the ARC-AGI-2 abstract reasoning benchmarks. Gemini 3.1 Pro sits at 76.5%. OpenAI's GPT 5.4 hits 76.1%. Meta's Muse Spark, despite all the billions spent and the internal civil war, scores a dismal 42.5%. On raw intelligence, Meta is losing the arms race. But the smartest move you can make when you're losing a game is to stop playing it. Meta realized they do not need the highest model IQ. They need to dominate a completely different battleground. Meta leadership identified the single most commercially attractive, high-frequency vertical where they could build a permanent moat: consumer health and wellness. To help a user track sleep or plan a workout routine, you don't need a model capable of solving advanced physics. Meta decided to concede the benchmark war so they could win the commercial one. OpenAI has roughly 200 million monthly active users. Meta has 3.1 billion daily active users across WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. It is the largest distribution channel on Earth. Competitors rely on users remembering to open a separate app to ask for advice. Meta is taking its AI and embedding it directly into the group chats, feeds, and messaging platforms people already use dozens of times a day. Because of this, Meta possesses the richest social graph in existence. They see your running groups, pregnancy support communities, and daily lifestyle habits. A high-end hospital clinical model will never have access to this level of behavioral data.
Most day-to-day health decisions are based on simple lifestyle nudges: eating right, sleeping well, reducing stress. Basic, context-aware advice, delivered instantly inside a chat app, is infinitely more effective than a massive medical supercomputer that users never bother to open. Raw reasoning capabilities will improve every few months. Getting 3 billion people to change their daily digital habits takes decades. Meta already owns the distribution, and in consumer health, distribution is everything. To see how this pays off, look at the broader landscape. Meta, Apple, Google, and OpenAI are all racing into health AI, but they are playing completely different economic games. They can all succeed without ever directly competing. Apple's strategy is entirely hardware-led. They want to sell premium, FDA-cleared wearables to a high-end consumer base. Google is aiming at the enterprise. They are building clinical-grade AI and licensing their MedPalm infrastructure directly to hospital systems and researchers. OpenAI is positioning itself as the foundational layer. They provide the raw intelligence and sell API tokens so that thousands of other developers can build their own health apps on top of it. And then there is Meta. They're avoiding the slow, heavily regulated clinical world entirely, opting to monopolize the massive daily consumer wellness space. They are not trying to outmaneuver Google in the hospital, and they are not trying to build medical devices like Apple. They're carving out a distinct, hyper-profitable lane that relies solely on user engagement. Meta will never send a bill to your health insurance provider. Instead, they monetize around health. By becoming your daily wellness companion, they drive up your time spent on their platforms, which directly increases their ad inventory. In emerging markets like India and Brazil, WhatsApp operates as the front door to the internet. Meta collects API and conversation fees as local clinics use the platform for telehealth triage, booking appointments, and processing pharmacy orders. Then there is the commerce loop. Health is a massive consumer spending category. Meta's AI acts as a recommendation engine, directly driving sales for fitness programs and supplements right inside your Instagram feeds. And quietly, they are building a hardware ecosystem. The Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses act as a Trojan horse, bringing AI into your physical environment for real-time coaching and habit tracking. The internal reorganizations, the $145 billion price tag, and the strategic chaos were the labor pains of a company morphing. Meta is moving past the social network model to become an AI-driven digital layer for consumer health and wellness. So the final question is, are you ready to trust your daily health advice to the exact same company that controls your social feeds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.